New Year's Eve revelers first gathered at Times Square in 1904, but it wasn't until 1907 that the New Year's Eve ball first descended from the top of one Times Square. The ball has 7 variations that have been created to herald the new year. The first New Year's Eve ball was 5 feet in diameter, 700 pounds, and composed of iron and wood, with 125-watt light bulbs. It was created by a young immigrant metalworker named Jacob Starr, and throughout the most of the 20th century, the lowering of the ball was handled by the business he formed, sign manufacturer Artcraft Strauss. The famed Lobster Palaces and other upscale eateries in hotels around Times Square provided waiters with battery-powered top hats, embossed with the digits 1908 made of small light bulbs, as part of the 1907-1908 celebrations, with the exception of 1942 and 1943, when the ceremony was postponed because of the dime-out of lights in New York City. During the war, the ball has been dropped every year since 1907. In spite of this, people continued to assemble in Times Square to ring in the new year with a minute of silence, and the sound of chimes coming from sound trucks parked at the base of the tower, evoking the earlier celebrations at Trinity Church, where people would congregate to ring out the old ring. The first ball was replaced in 1920 by a 400-pound wrought iron version. A lightweight aluminum ball that weighed only 150 pounds was used in place of the iron ball in 1955. The 1980s saw the transformation of this metal ball into an apple for the I Love New York marketing campaign, which ran from 1981 to 1988. Red light bulbs and a green stem were added. After a 7-year absence, the iconic luminous white ball with white light bulbs and no green stem was once again shining brightly over Times Square. Aluminum skin, rhinestones, strobes, and computer controls were added to the ball in 1995, but in 1998, the aluminum ball was lowered for the final time. The owners of One Times Square were inspired by the Centennial Ball's beauty and energy efficiency to construct the permanent big ball, which weighs close to 6 tons and has a circumference of 12 feet. 32,256 Philips Luxian LEDs are used to illuminate the 2,688 triangles made of Waterford crystal. Now a year-round attraction, the big Times Square New Year's Eve ball sparkles above Times Square and is clearly visible to all onlookers from January through December.